Me again. How's it going? So, the continuing journey into my lifetime of listening, an album selection every week this year from every year of my life. Check the playlist on the channel page for previous entries from previous years. Week 4, 1975, still just a nipper. So what records missed the cut this time around? The biggie I mentioned last time out, that was Neil Young's Tonight's the Night, epically rough-edged kind of barroom wake. But also, Curtis Mayfield, There's No Place Like America Today. It's just prime kind of mid-70s Curtis. Eno's Another Green World should need no explanation, and neither should this one. This is Horses by Patti Smith. And so far in my previous videos, I've listed 2 albums by UK acts and 1 by an American artist. So it's high time I broke that Anglophone streak. It's time for something from, I think, the only band to rival the Beatles as the most influential musical group of the late 20th century. This is Kraftwerk with Radioaktivität, or should I say Kraftwerk mit Radioaktivität. And just to put the cat firmly amongst the pigeons, I am of the belief that the breadth, the range of Kraftwerk's influence on modern music far exceeds that of the Beatles. A genuine controversy. How exciting. But seriously, consider this. Radioaktivity, released in October of 1975, was the band's first entirely electronic album. No flutes, no guitars, no acoustic drums, as per most of their early 70s releases. And while there had been a history of pioneering electronic releases from, the tail end of the 1950s through the 60s, think Stockhausen, Silver Apples, White Noise, many, many more, for a purely electronic pop record, no acoustic sounds besides human voices, I think Radioactivity could be considered the granddaddy of huge swathes of, today's modern studio-created pop. And this one is also the neglected one, I think, of the Kraftwerk back catalogue, falling as it does between, the pop, the commercial breakthrough with English-speaking audiences of the Autobahn album in 1974 and 1977's Trans Europe Express, in itself, an incredibly influential album, much sampled by, early electro and hip-hop artists like Afrika Bambaataa. And in some ways, Radioactivity feels like a step back into a more artful, kind of conceptual mode when compared to those albums either side of it. But crucially, it's an album of firsts. As I've already said, the first wholly electronic for Kraftwerk. It's the first studio recording to feature the classic, the full piece, The Robots lineup of Ralph, Florian, Karl, and Wolfgang. And again, repeating myself, it's their first bilingual album. All the preceding ones had been entirely German. And despite some of the kind of troubling concepts here, dark days, remember, this is mid-Cold War, nuclear paranoia, a still divided Germany in the grip of the ongoing Baader-Meinhof trials. It's as playful as you'd expect from, the outwardly very deadpan Kraftwerk, referencing radioactivity, the physical phenomenon, and the power of radio communication across its 38-minute runtime. The rising rhythmic pulse of Geiger counter opens and leads into the title track, which is one of the greatest pieces of electronic music ever recorded, in my opinion. The synthetic choir sounds you hear in this come from an orchestron, a kind of a buffed up version of the Optigan, a toy. It's got that deadly simple lead melody line, and it even sneaks in that Morse code message, which if you decode it says, Radioactivity is in the air for you and me, mirroring the vocal line. The mood on the record kind of lifts when the focus shifts to the songs about radio. There's the 1-2 of Radioland and Airwaves on side 1. One kind of warm and wondering, and the other propulsive and exciting. There are shorter framing numbers here, interludes if you like news, an audio collage of news reports, and Uranium, this kind of gravelly vocoder over those celestial choirs. But these serve as very capable scene setters for the album's longer numbers, the marvellous antenna, a chugging kind of rhythmic pre-echo, if you like, of the Trans Europe Express textures. And Ohm, Sweet Ohm, picking up speed to finish the album, accelerating into a classical, almost like a string quartet style melody, this kind of frothy, hopeful conclusion. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, that one. It's a very balanced record, I think. There's darkness, there's worry, but there's also fun and energy. The voice of energy itself, yeah, sums it up at the beginning, I think, of side 2. Translating some of those lines, he sings, "I am your servant and Lord at the same time. Guard me well." Okay, that's it. 75, Kraftwerk. What do you think of Radioactivity? It has a bit of an odd place in their back catalogue, but as I said, I love it. What do you think of it? And if not, do you have a favourite Kraftwerk album? I will wrap it up there for now. Thanks very much for watching. Subscriptions, likes, all that stuff. Yeah, you take care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.